he wrote a poem called Mother to Son. Well, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no Christmas fair. It's had tacks in it, and splinters and boards torn up, and places with no carpet on the floor, just bare. But all this time I've been climbing on, and reaching landings, and turning corners, and sometimes going in the dark, where there ain't been no light. So don't turn your back. Don't you sit down on the steps, because you find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now, for I'm still going, honey. I'm still climbing, and life for me ain't been no Christmas fair. I'm sure most of you can only imagine what it's like living with sickle cell. Dealing with life in general, whether you have sickle cell or not, is pretty tough by itself. So living a life with a forgotten invisible illness, it gets interesting. And living my life in particular, at moments can be overwhelming. I apologize in advance, but this may get a little intense. How would you feel if at this very moment you are stricken with immense pain? No one hit you. You didn't fall. There isn't 1,000 bees stinging you at one time. There's no one stabbing you repeatedly. And no, there's no freight train just resting on your body as if you were a part of the train tracks. And even though you feel like cutting your limb off, because that feels like the only type of release that you can get, you can't do that. That feeling you feel is only your body attacking you. That's only because of your red blood cells not doing what they're supposed to do. It's not fulfilling its purpose at that moment. Can you imagine lying in bed asleep and being awakened by that same excruciating pain? How about while getting ready to go out for a party, a picnic, a date, a club, church, a Black Tie Gala like this one, a concert, a full-time job? What do? The point is, sickle cell doesn't work off of a schedule. It doesn't care what you have to do. It has a mind of its own, and it's always interrupting life. I like to call it my hater. Now, this is how I feel at my absolute worst, when my pain level is at a pain level of 20 on a pain scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being no pain at all and 10 being the worst. But we still experience some level of pain on a daily basis. We have very few pain-free days. Actually, I had a pain-free day just a couple of weeks ago. Most of the time, I'm at a pain level 3 to 5, which is tolerable for me. A large amount of us actually have to take pain meds as a part of our daily regimen just to be able to function as normal people. And when I say normal, I mean people without sickle cell disease. How many of you know that sickle cell not only affects the physical, but the mental and emotional as well? Over the past years, I've seen people pass away from complications of sickle cell disease, usually associated with a secondary condition like maybe pneumonia. In addition to the complications of me having sickle cell, like hip replacements, days in the hospital, and dealing with the mistreatment and the misjudgments by the medical profession, I was also diagnosed with another condition called IIH, idiopathic intracranial hypertension, a condition that causes increased brain pressure and has been commonly seen in young overweight women. This condition caused additional health complications, including temporary paralysis in parts of my body, the loss of my sense of taste and smell that didn't return until 2 years later, and a number of other problems like blurred vision and double vision that wasn't relieved until I had to have certain eye surgery. I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't think the end was near. Being mentally or emotionally stressed can definitely lead to physical pain. I lived my entire life in fear of dealing with pain due to having sickle cell disease. This wasn't just myself that was afraid, but my family and friends as well. With other people's concern also comes demands telling me what I can and can't do with my body and how to take care of myself. Forgetting that the pain comes and goes when it pleases. You need to drink more water. You need to put on more layers of clothes. You need to just rest. You know you can't be crying like the other people. All of these demands come with the fear of, what if I get sick this time? Or what if I go into the hospital? What if I have to go to the hospital? I didn't want to be sick, and I definitely didn't want to go to the hospital. As a child, one of my biggest decisions was if I wanted to deal with the consequences of jumping into the cold pool. I wanted to play with the other kids. I wanted to be a normal child. Being diagnosed with having sickle cell also came with stigma that she can't do what other people can do. It was expected of me not to do what others could because I was dealing with sickle cell. The fear of experiencing physical pain, along with what I see now as the tacks, splinters, and torn boards in my staircase, limited my actions and the way I dealt with things. Life happens. I didn't know how to navigate life, period, especially living as an adult with sickle cell and having adult responsibilities. When I was 20, I lost someone very special to me, my sister. And with that came a huge challenge that no one was ready for, raising her child. I had a bigger role to play, and I had no clue what I was doing. I took a back seat and let the experts handle it because from what I had seen and what I thought because I had seen what I thought was a complete success. No one understood what happened or why it happened, and I definitely didn't understand my role. So I did what I thought aunties should do. I lived the best I could with all the constraints and limitations I had. But hindsight is always 20/20. My situation has not changed. I still have sickle cell, and I'm still helping out with my niece. But my perspective has taken a complete 180 degrees. Not 360, because that only puts you back in the place that you originated from. When you are forced into a situation that you have no control over, change your perspective. Now, I understand my purpose. With that, I became fearless. I chose not to be fearful. Fear is a choice. Fear is only a false evidence appearing real. In the movie After Earth, Will Smith said, "Fear is not real. The only place that fear can dwell is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist." I chose to be brave. Bravery is being afraid to do something and doing it anyway, like ziplining upside down with white-faced monkeys in Costa Rica. Being fearless makes you more powerful as well. I started the process of gaining control of my life with having sickle cell and dealing with all of life's challenges. I don't allow myself to be limited anymore, not by fear, not by other people, and definitely not by my circumstances. You don't have to limit yourself because you're afraid of something. Fear should not keep you from doing anything. Don't allow your current circumstances scare you into not doing anything. Don't allow fear to limit you from achieving anything you want to do. No matter if it's sickle cell, cancer, family problems, or whatever your situation is, don't use your circumstances as an excuse as to why you can't accomplish anything. You will miss out on life living a life according to limitations. If you put your mind to it, anything you want is possible. Like the red blood cells, if you're not doing what your intended purpose is, it causes turmoil, chaos, and pain. Finding my purpose and living it helped me break free out of that box that people have put me in and that I put myself in. It provides a sense of freedom and peace for me, and having a sense of control over my life is how I'm able to stand here today. I try to work harder for myself than I would for anyone else. Despite my situation, I work hard at making my own dreams come true because I know now I have no limits. Be fearless, be limitless, just live.